Hi and welcome to a small tutorial about how to add factions to the Squad SDK. Small disclaimer, this is not any official way, it's just something I found out about while experimenting, and it's also something that may change in the future, especially the plugin part once the SDK gets updated with new modding capabilities. But it's how it works for now and how I found out via trial and error. So first things first, we need to get the plugin in. You could basically do this all inside the SDK itself, inside the folders of the SDK, but it seems to always work better when you do the plugin. Also, it's cleaner. It's a lot cleaner this way. So you go to where you have your Squad SDK installed. I have this on my D drive, Unreal Squad plugins. And you can see here I already have a folder called Swemod, but let's delete it, let's do a new one, because we're gonna do a small Swedish faction today. Not complete by any means, just to show you how it basically works. Let's make a folder called Swemod. We'll put a folder called content inside it, and I'm gonna copy my U plugin from another project and put it in there, rename it Sweet. So this is Sweet.u plugin. You can open it in any text editor. I use Notepad++ for this. And let's fill some stuff in. Swedish Forces add-on for Squad. Let's replace this with, yeah, you gotta use them right. And let's just save this, close it up. Now it's really important you do this with the SDK closed, so it realizes that there's a new plugin once you open it up. So let's launch the SDK. So the SDK opened up. Let's get into Edit, Plugins, scroll down to User Mod, make sure this is enabled, and that's basically all you gotta do. Really important is when you have your content browser. It's kind of weird right now because I'm normally used to more than one screen, so I crammed everything in there. When you go to view options, you have to tick in that you can show plugin content. So you check that, and Sweet content, there's your folder. Good. Let's start out by basically seeing how factions in Squad work. You have in gameplay teams. You see there's this BP team info, the parent, and then you have the team infos for all the factions that are currently in the game. Militia, Russians, Desert Russians, the Insurgents, and the US guys. So I always try to replicate Squad's folder system inside my plugins as well. So I go gameplay, teams. And inside this I will create a child blueprint of BP team info and call it Sweet. I'm gonna move this here. So let's open this up and take a look inside. Basically what you have here are all the things, references from this gameplay standpoint. You have the command menu model, you have the non-build squad lead command menu, you have a short name for the team, you have name, the soldier class, the rally point mesh, you have the roles you have to set up then, the role limits, the deployable FOB limits. If we're taking a look into the USA, for example, you can see the short name, the name of the faction, the soldier class, and the rally point mesh of the United States. For now, let's do this. Short name will be Sweden, or Swedish Armed Forces. Let's call them Swedish Armed Forces. I try to replicate the US for now because it seems to work best. PP soldier. We'll overwrite them anyway. And let's use the standard American rally point. Oops. Let's put this in its own and then I'll open it up. Like I said, now I'm used to normally using more screens. It makes it a lot easier. So let's get this inside the content browser and put it in here. For now we don't have any roles yet, so we'll leave that empty. The group limits I leave empty as well, because it simply says you can have this many players using this role and this many players using this role on the squad level, on the team level, etc, etc. Something you find out best by experimenting and setting your roles done. Default role, we don't have that one. We have the leave squad role, which is basically the role the players get once they leave the squad. And then we have map flag and HUD flag. So let's do this. I'm using simply the current US flag and I'm exporting it so I can work over it. Let's open this up, I guess. Squad. You can basically save this where you want. Open up Photoshop. So there it is. Simply put the Swedish flag in. See, they're not really correct from the measurements, so I'll see to put it in the middle. Then I will simply make this longer over here. Make this longer over here. And resave this as SWI flag. So, like I said, I tried to replicate the folder structure of Squad in the best way possible. So I put the flag in the same folder as well. You have UI, HUD, flags, and the folder called small. Take our TGA and import it, simply drag it into the folder. There's our flag. Get it into the right window, put it in there, compile, save. That's it for now. Now the next thing we need, of course, are our roles. Every team has different roles, and these are, sorry, the cat walks in front of the screen. Play teams. Roles, of course. Inside here, make a new folder called roles. We can see they're simply in there. They're a data asset, and I think they're based on Selenius. Data asset and squad role settings. Select. So let's do it. Let's call it recruit. We'll get a recruit role for when someone leaves the squad. We will get a data asset, squad role settings. We get a squad leader. Let's call it squad leader. And as the last one, we get a simple rifleman. Rifleman. For now, let's save this all. And let's open up our squad leader. This side and open up our USA squad leader on the other side. It's really simple when you think about it. All you have to think about is what you want to do, how is it going, and how the squad actually do it at this moment. So it's always best to simply look into the things that are already there and replicate it for whatever you want to do. So we'll call this squad leader. We'll get him the T role. If I would be able to type squad leader, I can. So I already prepared some things, but we'll look into this later. Let's for now get him the form for aimpoint foregrip texture. And for the role details, we can simply paste this in. You can see it's basically what's put into the menu, the role selection menu. It's the text that's put in there. So we'll copy this, put it in there, let's put it in there, and we get the role type support to put it into the right category. And the soldier class will leave the standard US for now. We'll change this later a bit. Soldier USA squad lead. Leaving squad changes the role. So when you leave your squad, you won't be squad leader role anymore. Then we have the inventory, but we'll look into this in a bit. First, squad leader can build. Here's squad leader, of course. And for the owning team info, we have to put the team we made in this. That gets filled out automatically, sorry, I always forget. Once this role is put into the team info, inside it, it gets referenced and the owning team info gets filled automatically in here. So we'll save this, close it up, and do the same with our rifleman. So open up the US rifleman for reference, so we can steal things. Let's steal everything. And you can even type rifleman if you want. Copy this again. Zoom, fire, role type standard, BP soldier, USA, rifleman 2. Young squad changes role, inventory gets nothing for now, and everything else is the same. And last but not least, our recruit. Holy crap. Put it there. Let's see, there's a recruit. Role details none, role type standard, and really your case sensitive, of course. Now we have to check is recruit, and living squad does not change the role, of course. So basically we have our team info, we have our roles, so now we can assign the roles to the team info. And you can simply add 3 elements or how many roles you have to this this array inside the team info, and you can add these in here. Compile and save. And when we look into this now, we can see the owning team info is already in there. I'm gonna save all. I like to do that so it doesn't crash. Or simply if it crashes, I don't care. Because I saved everything. Alright, let's do the inventory. I prepared some small things for this tutorial, so we can have it a bit easier. For example, we have a weapon. I prepared an AK-5C with an aim point and some iron sights. This model is pretty awesome. It's, let's see, by sorry, I forgot, by a guy called The Edge. He's on Game Banana, and he made this model, made the high poly, made the low poly, baked it down, put it up there without any texture, but it's a pretty cool model, and I simply slapped a quick, really quick, like 5-minute quick weapon texture in Substance Painter, and so we gotta move this weapon inside here. Let's do make a new folder, call it weapons, copy and paste the AK-5C in there, see if everything bugged. Let's save everything. Open it up. Is everything still alright? It has the right skeleton. No, it references the other skeleton, of course. But if you simply import your weapon into this folder, you won't get any weird things because it's all happening inside this folder from the start on, and you don't move it away from another part of your SDK. I just played around with this before. Yes, it's an AK-5C, Swedish gun. Simple. So we have weapons, and we have some soldiers as well. Exactly. So we'll make a new folder called soldiers. I have everything over here in my test area, so I'll leave it here for now so I don't break anything, but basically you can import everything inside the real folder so you don't have to move stuff around. And let's see, I will use the standard US player models with just a really quick retexture. So we're gonna copy these blueprints over here from the standard US player models. Let's call it Swede. For Sweden, we have Rifleman 1. We're gonna copy it here. We have a squad leader. We're gonna copy it here. I think that's everything. I don't think I referenced any This is a Rifleman 1. Let's make a Rifleman 1 as well. Let's do it real. Teams. Sweden. BP Soldier. Sweden Rifleman 1. BP Soldier. Sweden Squad Leader. And we're gonna open them up. And like I said, I prepared some textures for them, quick retextures just with a Swedish camo. If you want these, you can basically go into the squad forums. I put a PSD to download, or where you can make your own camos, put your own camos in and replace the American soldier textures. For now I have M3 body, and some material already, and M3 equipment, these two. I won't go into things like the LOD textures for now, because I think it's a bit out of scope for this tutorial. But inside the blueprint for the soldiers, you have these here, where you can simply buy equipment, and for now I'll overload the LODs with the normal textures as well. I'm sorry, but I don't want to do LODs for the textures now and make new materials. Compile and save it. Squad leader the same. We go into the mesh. We assign the textures. Normally you would of course copy the LOD materials as well and change the textures in there as well, so you really have everything right, but as I said, I think it's out of scope for now. So we have our blueprints for the soldiers. That means we go into our roles and change the blueprints in here. So we Rifleman 1. Let's we look at the Rifleman 1 as well. And you get the squad leader. Good. We have our roles. We have our team info, but our roles still need equipment. So as I said, here's the weapon, the AK-5C. We have an AK-5C with an aim point. We have an AK-5C with iron sights. Let's give our guys some equipment. So yeah, teams, roles. Let's start with the squad leader. Sorry. Basically, you get all the. You can tell squad what kind of equipment this role has, and you can simply assign these blueprints of the different weapons and equipments. So if we look into our American squad leader, you can see here. If we go to inventory, we have on Panzer, we have weapon items. It's nested a lot. We have the blueprint M4 with a tracer squad leader, so he gets the squad leader M4. And on 1 we have the M9A1 Beretta, so he gets the pistol. 1, 2, we have our frag grenades. The amount of things you get is inside the blueprint most of the time, so how many magazines you get, how many grenades you get, that's inside the blueprint and not in here. Oh, sorry. It's with grenades it's different, but with magazines for your weapons, it's inside the blueprint and not inside the weapon blueprint and not in the role info. So let's give our squad leaders some things. Let's add our AK-5C. an aim point. Arrays always start with a 0. It's a programmer thing, so no worries about it. Let's give him a Beretta for good measure. And how about 67 frag grenades? And some smoke grenades. Why not? M18 smoke. Oh, I like purple. Give him 4 purple ones. Of course, you would have to, for your faction, you would have to do all the modeling and all the animation, and then you can put it in there. But I think it's a good start to see how this is built up. So you can actually start with importing a faction, testing out things, and then doing the hard work of modeling everything. I'll change this texture here because I have AK5C aim point texture somewhere around here. Let's give this to our squad leader. Our rifleman gets an AK5C iron sights texture. He also gets an AK5C, but he gets an iron sights 1. He will get nothing else. And our recruit, again, different texture. And he will also, for only showing it off, he will also get a AK5C with iron sights and nothing else. So, this is your team. You want to test it out, I guess. Basically everything is done. Now you have to add in all your weapons, all your vehicles, and everything then has to flow into this folder. Would be the best case, like you have all your vehicles for this and all your deployables, like you have a different kind of ammo crate, you have a different kind of placeable guns, like the M50 cal and all that. For now, we'll do a new level, call this test level, whatever, open it up. Yeah, save selected. Okay, let's place some box. What's it called? Cube? Is it called a cube? No. Sorry, I'm not a mapper. I suck at mapping. It's called a box. Put your box in there. So I'll just do a quick test level to see if everything works out. Alright, let's start this. Let's put these things in. I don't know about BSPs. Okay, let's put some lights in there so we can see what's going on. And because it looks really ugly, we're gonna put where is it? Lighting effects, sky. Let's take a BP Squad sky and put a nice Rivka sky texture in there. Alright, beautiful. So if I now let's go into the world settings, Team 1 info class, Sweden. Let's do both Sweden, because why not? And this is okay. And we did something wrong. I wonder what we did wrong. Teams. something went wrong, and I don't know what. Okay, we have these. We have these. Let's see if we all read the pawn glass of our Swedish rifleman one. What happens now? Alright, okay. I think for Sweden we have... Ah, okay, of course, we didn't set the default roads. That's something you really need to do. So, okay. We spawn as a rifleman of our Swedish armed forces. Isn't this beautiful? And let's put it in full screen for now for a second. We see we have Swedish armed forces here with a weirdly stretched flag. I will take a look into this. And if we open up this, we also have a weird stretched flag, but we have our squad leader role, or rifleman role, or recruit role, which should be shown here. So I don't think you have to put this into the team info in the roles, but let me take a look for a second. Now, these are some of the bugs we have to clear. Get out there. Let's see gameplay. Teams. USA. Okay, it's in there. Good to know. This recruit is checked. I think I checked this as well as mine. Okay. If we make the USA the first team in here and start playing. Okay, they don't have to recruit in here. Okay, so I found out what the problem with my recruit was. Inside this class default limit section you have non-deployable. You have to put this in there. And after that, yeah, it's rifleman and squad leader. And squad leader have to get in the default limit, get the squad leader only thing. Otherwise you could actually deploy as a squad leader without being in the squad. So, you only have rifleman in your standard case, then you can create a squad, and you're the squad leader now. You can change the squad leader. Okay, so that's basically how you set up, do the first setup for a new faction. And we'll try to find out why a flag is so weird. Give me a quick second. So we'll see content, UI, hot flags, small. Of course, it needs an alpha. I didn't save the alpha with it. Why ever my Photoshop doesn't like saving alphas often enough. should work. Gonna save all. Fall from the sky. And yeah, we have the right flag here. Swedish Armed Forces. So, basically, that's how you do it. I know I said that quite often already, but that's how you implement the basic faction. Of course, you can do more roles. Of course, you can import your own player models. Most likely should do it. You can import more weapons, have them use their own pistols, their own everything, and then sometime when it's available you can release it on the workshop and other mappers can start to use your faction or do your own faction mod and add your own maps to it. But this is basically what you start with. It's quite easy. If you have any question, drop by the modding Discord.